could be one of three things. I think people stated the first two things are not clearly outlining their plan, their guide, in the beginning of the relationship to even win the trust of the woman. Secondly, the woman never seen or witnessed another woman trusting a man in their life, so they don't know what it looks like. So they don't be able to witness something. You got to be able to see things, oftentimes to trust things. Uh, so she'll disagree with his style of leadership. And this stems from being conditioned with a lack of femininity. And that's where you get pushed back and this combative nature. And the third thing, the final thing that I've been able to understand is a lot of women they want the bad boy. That's their overall choice. They want the bad boy, but they still want them to have these unrealistic traits and personality traits and qualities, but they want the bad boy. So that's where you get misguided.
Like that. Sometimes sometimes women are looking to be guided, right? Like they know right from wrong, even though they still make poor choices. And sometimes they may turn to that man that's in their life. They may have had a father, or maybe they never had a father. So they're looking for a man to actually influence them to be within a certain situation. Not a certain situation, but within a certain way. And so sometimes she may be testing you without telling you, hoping that you will not fail along with her. So it may be something that she may not really want to do or participate in, or may not, and you're doing it with her. And so she's looking at you like you're just like me. Like I'm looking for somebody that's going to actually lead us in a different direction, but you're making the same mistakes I'm doing. Like I have a problem spending, you just spending right along with me. I'm trying to turn my life over to Christ, and you're still doing the same things I'm trying to get away from. Like you're not helping us is how they may look at it. You're not helping us. So it's just something to kind of factor in when sometimes like the woman's psyche may be a little bit deeper than what you anticipate. Sometimes women like want to lean on men, but they have a hard time doing it because the men around them, they don't see that leadership, or maybe they've grew up in a household where it just wasn't there. But there are some women that may want to respect a man, but it's just kind of really hard. And I do agree that does happen, that they never had respect for him from the get-go. And so we talked about it on last Thursday, where they're in a relationship off survival. So, they know they shouldn't be there, but for whatever reason, it's convenient for them. And so they are going to endure it. And sometimes it works, but I don't have the stats on that. And a lot of times it don't work, because it all comes down to that respect. That respect is very important. If men don't feel it, you may not generally get that man. I mean, if he's not getting the respect, he's going to go the other way. Like you guys are mentally not going to be there. And the same thing with her. She doesn't respect you. She's not going to mentally be there. And you're starting to see it play off in the bedrooms. They're sleeping in separate rooms because they never really had a connection. They never was mentally stimulating one another. And so now they're growing apart, but it's almost like they strangers living up under the same roof. And then they got kids. Once the kids are grown, then they on their own. Like legally married and still dating other people. So,
But Lapeef, I think guidance implies that the person guiding knows where they're going. And a lot of women just don't trust that the man knows where he's going. So sometimes it's not, and this is a wise woman wouldn't even go as far as getting into a relationship with him. So in the early stages, she'll notice he's inconsistent. Like Balance said, he doesn't keep his word. He's all over the place. those are red flags for wise women to say, oh, pause, let me pump the brakes on him, because where is he taking me to? Leadership comes into question, into play, where she would have gladly followed. I mean, but the guidance, where are we going question kept coming up, because he doesn't even know where he's taking himself. And I'm going to hitch my wagon to a wagon going over the cliff. So when a men say that they want to guide a woman, or women don't trust men's guidance, you have to ask yourself, am I trustworthy? Can this woman count on me when the chips are down? Not in a transactional relationship. I need this, you need that, and we just gonna call. No, a real relationship. Can she count on you? Otherwise, you're not a guide. You're not a leader. Your submission should not be in your lexicon. That's not something you're ready for. Leaders and guides assume responsibility, and or can you be responsible for where you're taking this woman? And that should be a question every man should be able to definitively answer.
Go ahead, Paradise.
I think it's a lot of nuance to this conversation. At the basis of it, women are attracted to men off of feeling. We have to feel security, and we have to feel that you are confident. We have to feel that you can dominate. And once we feel those things, as long as you can keep reassuring that feeling, you got us locked in. The issue with why women can't trust men's guidance is because there's a heavy dependability issue. A lot of men are hard to depend on. And I think that the conversation gets mixed up in the crossfire because women have this idea that regardless of who I am to him, because he understands his role, his goals should always be aligned to whatever woman. Whereas men are like, nah, I never told you that we were more than anything than what I'm doing. So you're assuming I can't lead. You're assuming that you should have all of this type of hierarchy in my life. And I never gave you any type of ounce of anything for that. I showed you I was inconsistent with you. I showed you that I didn't care about you emotionally. I showed you these things, and I'm not for having a conversation to solidify what you should already know. Whereas women on the other end, we're constantly like, men should be leaders. Men should be providers. He should do this because he's a man, and I should get this because I'm a woman. So we think even if we're just having sex, we have access to their friendship. We have access to their protection. We have access to their resources. And they segregate the two. I think that there's a heavy dependability issue that both parties play, from women's expectations as well as men's authority. And we keep throwing this word around, leader and guidance, and where are we going? Where are we going? Where he never picked up that task at all. He's constantly showed you he wasn't up for that task. He's never talked to you about what it looks like to be a parent until a pregnancy scare. He never told you what it looked like as far as how to handle your finances, even when you were in a pickle. He gave you the money to get out his face. He didn't give you no knowledge, no education, no none of that. There's a huge conversational gap between expectations of why women can't trust men's guidance, because women are still trying to act in their nature for men while resisting it at the same time. And men are consciously choosing to give their nature to the woman that they want to prioritize, and not all women they have access to.